Weeds along the sharp curve have crept onto the road, narrowing the already slender route. Drivers who ply the stretch describe the area as a breeding ground of fatal road accidents. Ejamenu, a commercial driver, recounts a near rear-on collision. It was raining, and because we usually use bright lights during such times, I nearly crashed into an oncoming vehicle because I couldn't see it coming. The stretch joins the main route to the Ashanti Regional Coordinating Council and the Presidential Residency from Denyame. Commercial drivers in the residential area tell Love News it's precarious negotiating the bend at night, especially for persons who are unacquainted of the road. It's scary using the road at night, especially for weeder drivers. Because of the bush, it's really dangerous using the road. This guardrail that is meant to protect pedestrians that ply the stretch, and also as an indication for oncoming vehicles that this is a sharp curve, is now covered in weeds. It makes it difficult for drivers who use this stretch to go to the other side, and even those coming from the other end to know whether they are directly inside the curve. The speed ramp signage engulfed in the bush is not only elusive to drivers, but its complementary structure, meant to slow down speeding vehicles, has lost its navigation to the road. The section covered by weeds, we are told, was demarcated for construction of a pedestrian walkway. But pedestrians have to alternatively use the more perilous side of the road. We have no space to walk by the road unless we walk inside of the road.
A car nearly knocked me down whilst I was walking. When the car is coming, it is very difficult for you to give way for the car to pass.
The stretch leading to Golden Tulip Hotel from the Regional Lands Commission office is no different. So you can imagine the difficulty pedestrians and drivers have to endure during the night using the stretch. Until the weeds along the roads are pruned, they could potentially cost a life. For Joy News, Emmanuel Bright-Kweku reporting.
That was my colleague Emmanuel Bright-Kweku there. And that situation apparently is not just restricted to Kumasi in the Ashanti region. We see same right here in Accra. If you apply the Tema motorway stretch, you would see that on both ends. But what exactly is happening? Joining the conversation, engineer Emmanuel Laye Odai. He is Greater Accra Director, Ghana Highways Authority. We also have engineer David Adonting, Acting Director General of the National Road Safety Authority. Let me start with engineer David Adonting of the National Road Safety Authority. Now, especially on the back of all that we know, the road accidents. In this year, it seems to have slowed down a bit by some marginal percentage. But why is this happening in different parts of the country? And on major stretches, if you look at what just happened, the report that we put forward in Kumasi and the Ashanti region, and you look at the Tema motorway, these are critical routes that are applied daily by so many tens of thousands, if not millions of people. Are you aware of this situation, and why does it still prevail?
Well, good morning, and thank you for this opportunity. Let me also continue to thank Multimedia for your continuous support for road safety through the Drive Safe campaign, the Arrive Alive campaign, and also the Stay Alive campaign. Indeed, we put up the statistics a couple of weeks ago, I think 2 weeks ago, indicating and accounting to Ghanaians as a mandatory and a practice for people to know what is happening within the road space. As at May, the first 5 months of the year, the figures have already been put out and we have discussed it. Indeed, much as we appreciate the fact that there has been some reductions in all the CID. I mean, the crashes, injuries, and the deaths, as compared to the previous year, last year, same period, we still have a challenge as regards the figures. Because if we are continuing recording in excess of 200 per month, and for that case, the 5 months give us a total of 1,140, it's still high. And we have identified that much as we are pushing the agenda of Stay Alive, Drive Safe campaign and all that, people are still not complying with the rules and regulations on the road. Pedestrians, drivers, and passengers, and motorcyclists, and so on. We still need to do more. But we have identified some flashpoints, especially on the Akakpo Highway and beyond to Kintampo and to the north. That is the end, and the end state. And so we have also identified the motorway in particular, as we said. Between Kaswa through Cape Coast to Takoradi is also another flash area. These are critical points that we have mapped out. And within the cities of Accra, Koforidua, and Kumasi also contributing quite immensely. And so our strategy moving forward is to look at these areas and map out a strategy better than we're doing now to strengthen education and enforcement in particular. So in which case we have teamed up with the police to strengthen their enforcement of the road traffic regulations, especially that relates to speeding. I'm happy to say that our good friends using motorcycles, as a result of the program launched by the police, the PARI and the PI, have started getting some positive results because you can now see clearly and visibly that at intersections, motorcyclists are stopping for rest. And again, they are wearing their helmet. And I think it's a good sign for all of us. Now, it is for us to apprehend drivers who are so recalcitrant in driving far beyond the speed limit and also doing some overtakings that are not required by law. These are the areas that we are looking at very critically moving forward.
Engineer Odai, for you as Accra Director of the Ghana Highways Authority, what is your quick reaction to this? And I put this bluntly to you. This is not a situation that started today. If you recall, I mean, what the drivers who interacted with us made mention of in Kumasi was that this had been there for practically forever. The motorway is saying, why is this so, and can something be done about it in the immediate term? Because it's interesting, because I saw one of the road signs, okay, covered by bush in Emmanuel Bright Kweku's report. How do you expect people to see that road sign and be able to negotiate from there? So this is a serious problem.
Morning and good morning to our listeners. Thank you very much for the effort you are putting, everybody is putting in, so that we have a very safe roads. We have a program as an institution, and where we are starting the weeding from tomorrow, that is on the 1st of July. So some areas have started, and we have what we call the single man contractors, that's the SMC. They are supposed to be weeding the roads, and we've given all of them the instruction to start immediately.
So which group again is this? Which group is supposed to do the weeding?
Now we call them single man contractors.
Okay.
That's SMC. We segment the sections of every road, and then we give it out to contractors to weed. And it's, we have a budget, so we have timelines as to when we can do the weeding. There are some areas we do more frequencies because of the agencies on it. And then other areas, maybe every other month. So tomorrow, 1st July, we are starting weeding all over the country as a new program going on. It starts from tomorrow as first. That's the instruction we've had.
Okay, I was about to ask you for target areas, but you say all across the country. So since you are focusing on Accra, which areas in Accra will be weeded? And is the motorway on the radar?
We are weeding all the trunk roads. You see, it's a program. So once started, everybody started is expected to start. If you don't start and somebody completes his or hers, what we do is that we'll give you a warning if you are not going to start, then we bring another person in.
Okay. So are all of them starting at the same time?
Yes, they are supposed to do so. But you know, if you have within, let's say, 5 kilometers, you can't weed the 5 kilometers in a day. Sometimes they have to get, how do they call it, workers to help in that direction. So basically, that's what we do.
Okay. And what kind of, yes, weeding? Is it going to be manual? Are they going to be using cutlasses? Or are they going to be using the, those handheld mechanized types that they used to weed?
Yeah, we have the machine weeding and then, how do you call it, the manual. That's, you can use the cutlasses, you use the other machines to weed like you've been seeing. So depending on the situation, and then where we have what we also call the bush clearing. It's also part of the exercise. Once it goes beyond the weeding, you see the weed overgrown. When the vegetation is of a height, you have to do what we call the bush clearing. So you clear those ones. So everything will be done.
Let's look at the medians and their use. I know sometimes, the plants we keep there may stem the tide of flooding and all of that. But are they serving the purpose, so to speak, when we allow them to grow this high, because they could breed all kinds of, animals or vermin that would be inimical to road users? And sometimes they are so overgrown that even criminals could hide in them. So what is the use of the median? Are they serving their purposes? Couldn't we maybe transform some of them into gutters or something so that when it rains? I mean, what is the thinking? And if it's becoming difficult to maintain them, what are the options?
Yeah, you see, for engineering purposes, we give the designs as pertain, and sometimes you need to have an engineering eye to understand some of these situations. When you have a drain, it must discharge into a point. So if you just put a drain there and it's not discharging, it becomes a problem. Now, with the motorway, for instance, very soon is going to go under construction. And so there's little, all we could do is the weeding and then the silting of the drains. That's the areas that we have the drain. And you can also see that we have a lot of drains. So people are creating a lot of problems on the motor, for instance. If you look at the Malan-Kasua Road, the median of it, and it's free by weeding, that one has no problem. But the motorway, there is some sections with drains, which need to be desilted. And so it will be done. Like I said, it's a program. So once the time comes for us to do, during the rainy season, it's obvious. In the dry seasons, you don't see these things. During rainy season, it looks like you have to do every would not take you to that level. So we will have to make a case, and then once we make a case, we are allowed to do the needful.
Okay, I want us to wrap the conversation on another quick point, but I just saw a message come in. One Siddiq Nuhu says, you've not been paying your contractors, and that's why the medians are bushy, that you've not been, that's the allegation. Is that correct? Does that ever happen?
That is, it is anybody that says that because it's not paid, then when we are giving when we are awarding the contract, they did not to come. And I'm telling you, people clamor for it. So it's just a program. You just give a week, and then you will see a lot of the weeding ongoing. The one saying, yes, government is owing. I will not deny that fact. Government is owing. But it doesn't mean that they will not be paid.
So government is owing some of these contractors.
The situation.
For how long has government owed these contractors? For how long has government owed these contractors?
Oh, like I'm saying, it's a process. You know, the government is trying in its own best to pay contractors. And it's a program, and they all understand it. I cannot talk to it right now that the government is owing 2 years, 1 year, 3 months, 2 days. All I'm saying is that they have all been stacked up that, look, you do the work, we get money, we pay you. And that is how it is going. And they all understand. All those who are saying that they are not being paid, and therefore, then when we give them the new work, they shouldn't do it. But that's not the issue. Everybody is ready to start work. And as I'm telling you, people are ready to start work. All we need is to give them the go ahead, and then they will start. Friday, that is tomorrow, we expect everybody to go to site. By the week, if you are not on site, you have to give it to somebody else to weed. And that is the situation on the ground.
All right. Thank you. Let me wrap the conversation. Sadiq, though, comes back to say that you are owing from 2019 to 2022. But let's move on from there. I'll wrap the conversation with Engineer David Adonting of the National Road Safety Authority. I just want to find out from you. I've heard in recent times a major problem, street lights that are not working. We've had Parliament charge the NRSA, I believe, to fix that. What is the latest on that?
Yeah, we are still waiting. Is it directed to me?
Engineer Adonting.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
So it's to both of you. I mean, from the different angles you can come. Engineer Adonting, are you with me? Did you get the question? Okay, Engineer Odai, I think you were hazarding an answer. Please go ahead, because I can't hear from Engineer Adonting.
Oh, Debbie. Yeah. I'm on the line. I'm sure you can hear me. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Engineer Adonting. Please go ahead.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is that I'm happy to hear from my good friend from GHA that weeding along the road and in the median have been awarded on contracts, because it's been a real challenge for the National Road Safety Authority and then the motorists, because particularly we have observed as one of the problems currently confronting motorists. The shoulders are all overgrown, the medians are also overgrown, and we need a clear zone. In a road zone or a road corridor, you need a clear zone so you can see and also be seen. Pedestrians are there, motorcyclists, children crossing roads here and there, and also even for security reasons, we always need the roadway to be very clear. I think that the maintenance program has delayed a little, but at least it's better than we are starting, and I must commend DHA for that initiative coming up. But to be honest, one of the other safety initiatives we have taken is to apply the Road Safety Act, which mandates us to compel institutions to do what is right within the road space for the public good in terms of road safety. Just last week, or this week, yes, I must say this week, we have issued a notice to the Department of Urban Roads in particular to ensure that traffic lights function. And we have given them 60 days to see all traffic lights functioning. In fact, based on data, we had to identify all traffic lights in 10 regions in Ghana where there are traffic lights, and out of 100%, about 77 to 78% were not functioning. Now, this has serious safety implications, especially at intersections. And so we have had series of engagements with the Department of Urban Roads, and it didn't get to a situation where we think could solve the problem. So we have now out and from our mandate issued a notice to them. Beyond the 60 days, we will take a further step to address the problem, please.
Engineer Odai, did you have a quick take on this? If so, the ball is in your court. Hello, Engineer Odai.
Street lights. And so we sent complaints to them, and they have given the assurance that it will be addressed very soon. So we are waiting. Like Engineer Dontin rightly said, they give timelines, and then within that, that is how we also make our case. So, so once the forces there, like the media, like we are doing now, it's also good for us, and it will let us get to the destination that we want to. So basically, that's good. But we'll still continue to pursue it to its logical conclusion. We'll make sure that these things are done. And if there are constraints, maybe we'll let you people know so that we know. We actually have to talk to the public. So for now, I would say let's give a bit of time. Like the 50 days is talking about. Let's use that one as a target, so that within the 50 days we see what happens. Then you can come back.
Gentlemen, we're grateful. Engineer Emmanuel Laye Odai is Greater Accra Director, Ghana Highways Authority. We also had Engineer David Adontain, Acting Director General of the National Road Safety Authority. When we return, we'll have we'll be delving into the MPP's internal elections. We've had quite a number of them come here vying for general secretaryship positions. Yesterday, we had national organizer, hopeful Bright Esilfi Kumi joining us in the studio. Well, today we have Michael Omari Wadia, first vice chairman of the party, who wants to retain his position. That conversation up next on the AM show. Stay.